Morning guys, it is Wednesday. It's about 8:30 and I'm just heading to get some fuel before the first job of the day. It's actually the only job I've got booked in. It's quite a large block paved area, front of the house, side of the house, and then it sort of wraps around the back. And then hopefully in the same area, like it's only on the other side of town, so in the same area, if it's dry enough, we'll be able to get back to a little job I need to rectify from a couple of weeks ago. I sanded and sealed a large block paved drive, but after we had the crazy storm, some of the sand has like broken and come out of some of the joints. And she didn't ask me to come back and fix it. She just said, is it okay if I brush some sand back in? And I said, yeah, don't worry, I'll do it. And she was very grateful of that. But I'm just hoping it's going to be dry enough today, because we've had a lot of heavy rain over the last couple of days. So we'll see if it dries up, but I'll see you at the job. See you in a bit. Okay, so we're back in this road that we've cleaned that house, the drive on that house. We've cleaned this drive, we've cleaned the gutters, and now we're cleaning this drive. Quite a hefty one. Wraps all the way around the back. Lovely garden. Through this little archway. And we've got all this block paving to clean around the back as well. They've been so helpful, and they've cleared everything off the patio, which is absolute bonus when you arrive on the job and everything's already clear, ready to go. Very nice people. Just parked on the neighbour's drive here, just so that all the sludge and the slush is going to run down into the road there and then into that drain. So not having to park the car in the van in the front there where it's all going to get splashed, that's going to be a bonus as well. See what the water pressure's like. Oh, that is plenty. Beautiful. It's going to fill up in no time. Now these blocks aren't the worst I've seen. There is some stuff between the joints. You can see in the past where they've probably had a go with one of those weed whizzers, because the joints are actually quite neat. But where this is all regrowing, I like to just try the surface cleaner just to check. If it gives me some half decent results, I might surface clean it, but the chances are I'm gonna end up having to turbo nozzle the whole lot. But I think it's worth a try, because you never know, after the rain we've had, this all might be quite loose and it might come out just with the surface cleaner, so we'll see. That bubble that I had on my hose the other day has popped, but it is leaking very, very slightly, but not enough to make me want to replace it. I just went to the garage to fill up my new jerry cans and put some more in there, and they said I couldn't do it because this isn't a proper fuel storage container. I said it is, look, literally says on the side plastic jerry can, and she said no, it's got to be metal, it's got to be a proper fuel storage container. I had a metal one before and I got rid of it because it was too heavy, so that sucks. She said unless you've got permission from the council to have like a fuel carrier's license or something, which I've never heard of. That's annoying. To be fair, that has done a hell of a lot better than I was expecting. Like, looking between the joints, it's not left anything really. The only thing that I can see is there's a lot of black spots, and so I'm wondering whether I'd be better off pre-treating the whole area. What do I do? Do I pre-treat it all and then surface clean the lot? Or do I surface clean the lot, post-treat it, and then go over it with the rinse down nozzle or the turbo nozzle and just get rid of any weeds that might be left behind? I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll clean the lot first. Right, time for some quick questions. John says, where did you get the hose reel? So the low pressure hose reel is just a generic one from like B&Q or Wix or something. I've upgraded the hose to one from Toolstation, which is a 3/4 inch hose, so it's slightly thicker and it's a bit longer as well. It's about 30 meters. The high pressure hose reel is a refurbished one from Equip to Clean. I think it holds about 50 meters of hose. Perfect. Right, I've just rinsed all this down after giving it 2 passes with the surface cleaner. So I went in one direction and then I went 90 degrees in the other direction, just with the surface cleaner. Haven't been round the edge yet with the turbo nozzle. You can see it's made quite a difference. Literally gone from like green to grey and red. The joints are totally clear, which I'm really pleased about. There's nothing left in those joints. So I'm quite confident that I can use a surface cleaner on the whole drive now. I've got a bit of a river coming down here, haven't I? Again, lots of black spots left over, but I reckon the hypo, and a nice strong mix of hypo, is going to just dissolve all them very quickly. I can always do a couple of applications in the worst areas. But no, I'm very happy with that. SB Pressure Washing asks which sprayer I'm using in one of my other videos to apply the sealer. I'm using the Chapin 1949 sprayer, and I bought it from Pure Seal. You'll see me using that again a bit later on in this video. Okay, we've not been as fortunate at the front with the surface cleaner. So although the blocks look clean, which they are, no black spots out the front here, which is nice. You can see it's leaving weeds between the joints. So the weeds are a lot worse out the front here. Some moss there as well. And this is not acceptable. So looks like we're going to be doing the drive with the turbo nozzle, which is fine. It's just going to take me a little bit longer, that's all. Zan asks if the water in the tank ever runs out. Yes, it does. So I always hook the tank up to the customer's water supply, purely because their water supply isn't powerful enough to keep up with my machine going at 15 litres per minute. The tank is just there to act as a buffer, so it gives me 250 litres of extra water to use before I have to stop and wait for it to fill. Again guys, just to show you, I've literally just switched the machine off after using the turbo nozzle for like maybe 40 minutes and the tank is full. 3/4 inch hose. Is that 3/4 inch? 19mm hose with the proper float valve in there, the fill valve. Absolute game changer. When you've got decent pressure, it'll never get low. So I've just got this section to do. I've got to go around the outside of the back garden. Done all this. Just needs a jolly good rinse down. Turbo nozzle's doing great. Lady's making me some toast. get me a coffee and some toast. Look at that for service. Look at this. Beautiful. Guys, I've been told I need to ask you more often to like and subscribe to the channel and put some more comments down below, because it helps get the video in front of more viewers, which I suppose is always a good thing, isn't it? I'd really appreciate it, thank you. I know you haven't done it yet, but I've been told if I ask you to do it, you'll do it, so thank you in advance. Right then, I've gone around the outside out the back here. All this is clean. Time for the big rinse down. Stick this on a time lapse, I think. Next door's drive's filthy. This one's now filthy as well. And then I'll have to clean up the road afterwards. I'm going to take a little break here and just let you know that this video is sponsored by me. Sometimes you just got to back yourself. Now, these videos take a lot of time and effort to film and edit, on top of trying to run a successful pressure washing business. If you find any of the information in my videos useful, then I'd like for you to consider becoming a paid member of the channel, where you'll get access to my private WhatsApp group, where I'm active on a daily basis, keeping up with all my channel members. We help each other with questions, and I post pictures and videos that you won't see on any of my other socials. It's a really cool little community, and I'd love for more of you guys to come and be a part of it. We also have two other membership tiers. One is just to show a bit of support for the channel, and the other one will not only give you access to the WhatsApp group, but it also contains a link to 50 high quality promotional images to help start your business. I know what it's like when you're ready to get going but you don't have any before and after pictures to put on your leaflets. These 50 images are the culmination of all of my hard work for the first year, and were probably responsible for the fact that I've never had to pay for any form of advertising. Click the link in the description for more information. Last thing before I let you go, new videos come out every Monday night at 5:30, and then I go live at 7:30 to chat to you guys and answer as many questions as possible. We do live quotes for real customers and just generally keep up to date with everything going on in the pressure washing world. Thanks for watching, back to the video. Right, the washdown's done. Everything's been rinsed off. It's looking great. Washed all the pots off and all the stones and stuff. The only problem is on this side. I cleaned this drive about 6 months ago, I think. And I've blown a lot of the sand out from between the joints from rinsing it all off. So when I resand this, I'll come back and I'll resand all those sections that I've blown out. So hopefully, I'll give this a bit of time to dry, and then I'll brush it all up. I'll dry brush it because the sun's just coming out now. So rather than trying to scoop a load of wet muck, it'll all be dried out. And in the meantime, while that's drying, I'm going to do I'm going to get the X-Jet out and do a hypo treatment on this. Okay, I got the X-Jet hooked up. I'm going to turn the revs right down on the machine, all the way down. I've packed up this hose because I've got 250 litres of water in there now, so that should be plenty for the hypo and then the rinse down afterwards. What I'm hoping to achieve is any of these black spots between the joints and here. To be fair, there's not much around the side here on the drive, but around the back there's all these black spots. So I'm hoping it's going to get rid of all those. Let's have a look. I've run out of questions to answer. Most of them I'll reply to in the comments if I've got time. So if you do have any specific questions, feel free to pop those down in the comments and I'll answer those in the next video. Whenever there's a time lapse like this where there's no audio, it gives me an opportunity to answer some questions. And even if you haven't got a question and you don't know what to type in the comments, just type #comment or something, just so I know what you're doing, right? I've spoke about these rubble sacks in the past, but these 50-litre rubble sacks from Screwfix, they're made from woven polypropylene, which is like a similar stuff to, you get those bulk bags of aggregate, and it allows you to put the dirt inside for the water to drain out the bottom, so it's really good for like clearing up sludge. They're super cheap as well. So it's been about 20 minutes. There are still quite a few spots out the back here. It's better than it was, but what I'm going to do is just get the turbo nozzle on very low pressure and just get rid of them. Oh dear. I've made a start on cleaning up the road. All the rubble, all the sludge has been bagged up. I've just got all this now that I need to rinse down into the drain over there, and we'll be good to go. Clearing up the road in front of the house is always something you should take into consideration when you're quoting the job, in my opinion, because it's something that can be the difference between the job taking an hour and the job taking 2.5 hours. If you've not got a convenient drain nearby and the water needs to go across the road, for example, to get to the drain, you could do a great job on the drive, but if the road's all filthy, the customer's going to notice and the neighbours will too. Right, we're all done. Second chemical treatment out the back. Most of the black spots are gone. I'm happy with that. Customer's happy. Cleaned the road down, and we'll be back in a few days to resand when it's dry. Just been asked to look at this stain over here on the neighbour's drive, from where one of those big bulk bags was left. They've had to go jet washing it up, but it's not coming up. I've got no idea what that could be. Right, I've been called back to a job for the first time in a long time. So the original issue was, after I've sealed this block paving, some of the sand, after very heavy storms, some of the sand has come out from between the joints. So it was very, very hot. And then we had some crazy rain, like a couple of days after sealing. And that's happened. But when I turned up, I noticed that the whole drive was kind of glazed over white. So the sealer's failed. There's some really weird areas where there's like some white patches and spots. And I can't figure out what's caused it. It's worse around the side. It's either extreme heat, there's a chance that I've applied the sealer, and on the day that I applied it, it's this Concrete Sealer Pro. On the day that I applied it, it was potentially 22 degrees and upwards, which it shouldn't have been. But look at all these spots. It's terrible. This bit's the worst. No idea what's happened here. So it's either extreme heat, terrible rain, like a few days after I've applied it, because there's a chance that this stuff needs like 3 or 4 days to fully cure, I think I read, I can't remember. Or it could be that I didn't rinse the hypo off afterwards, and potentially all these spots could be the surfactant in the hypo, but I don't know. So I'm going to try a few different techniques here. I'm going to do 4 test patches. The first test patch is going to be thinners, xylene, which I'm hoping will re-emulsify the surface and make it go clear again, because this Concrete Sealer Pro contains xylene, I think. So 1 test patch xylene, 1 test patch xylene, and I'm going to agitate it with a brush. I'm going to do another test patch, which is going to be 50% xylene, 50% concrete sealer. And I'm going to do a 4th test patch, which is going to be 100% concrete sealer. I'll probably do it all in this area actually, I'm not sure. I'll have to brush it down first, but we'll see what happens. Okay, this bit here is going to be just xylene. This bit on the right is going to be xylene and then agitated with a stiff brush. This is 50% xylene, 50% sealer. Again, just doing some small test patches. Then this one's going to be 100% sealer. Just done a few other test patches around the drive, just on the corner there. That's just with sealer. I've just done another test patch with just sealer over here. I'm going to go over to this corner and just do a little bit with just xylene. So I've done my test patches, spoken to the customer, they're being really lovely about it, and obviously said it's not happened before, but I'm 100% going to sort it for them. Whatever I have to do, I'll get it sorted, and they appreciate me coming back and you know, taking the time. And it was crazy because the neighbour over the road, he literally came over and said, "Oh, can I have a quote for exactly what you've done there with Sue's drive?" I said, "Oh, I've got a bit of a problem with the sealer at the moment, so this isn't the best example of my work." And he said, "No, I understand." But so somehow I've just got another job out of that disaster. So what I'm going to do is leave that xylene and leave the sealer down. I've told the customer just stay off it, try not to walk on it, don't drive on it. I've put it in areas where they're not going to disturb it, and then I'm going to give it like a week, and I'll come back in a week and I'll see which area looks the best. It might be that none of them look good, it might be that all of them look good, but that will determine the next course of action. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you next week probably.